Hey everybody, Steve Bourie here from the American Casino Guidebook. If you're not familiar with us, please be sure to visit our website at americancasinoguidebook.com. Today we have a special guest with us, and we're going to talk about good machines for low-limit players. And first of all, though, I want to introduce my son who works with me on the website, Matt Bourie.
How's it going, everybody? And today, as Steve said, we have a special guest, Josh O'Connell from KnowYourSlots.com. And we've had him on the show before. And if you saw any of the other videos, we did a series with him on great slot machines for low limit players or lower limit players. So this is people that aren't quite minimum bettors, not maximum bettors. It's people that like to bet in the $1 to $2 a spin range. And one of the machines we talked about in that series was Quick Hit. And we're going to talk about that today. Steve and I went to the Hard Rock near us like a week ago and shot this video. And now we have Josh here to talk about it because he's much more knowledgeable about these slot machines. So we're going to go ahead and discuss it while we watch the video of me playing that machine. How are you doing today, Josh?
I'm doing very well. Thanks for having me back.
Always a pleasure. All right, so let's go ahead and watch this video here.
And one of the first things I wanted to mention, there's many versions of Quick Hit out there. So can you explain which one? This is an older version. Maybe you can give people a little background on it.
Yeah, so this is kind of the classic edition, which is a 5 mechanical reel slot with a $1.50 max bet. Occasionally you'll see them in casinos for $2, but even, the $1.50 or the $2, they're kind of similar in structure and approach. Some of the newer ones sometimes are set up this way. Some of the newer video versions of the same series has a $1.50 max bet. So those work just as well, frankly, because they're very similar in setup. I'm thinking of games like Quick Hit Volcano and Quick Hit Jungle, which are great examples that you can sometimes find in a casino at $1.50. So that $1.50 max bet's kind of the magic number. Some casinos will set them to $3 or even $6, but the $1.50 ones is sort of the ones we're talking about today.
All right, so let's go ahead and give this video a play here. Now, I was talking also, so we have my audio muted here. So we're gonna go down and we're gonna go ahead. These are all the progressives that you can get, and those are all based on that $1.50 max bet.
Yep, and it's important to keep in mind that you have to max bet on a Quick Hit machine to be eligible for the progressive. So that $1.50 bet is critical in this particular sense. If you bet less, you'll get a proportion of your bet, but you won't get the full progressive value. So hence why you want to bet that $1.50.
And here we go. I hit the bonus round, the absolute first spin. This is a great video. And now these are just all the ones you can pick. You can get anywhere from 20 free games with a 3 times multiplier all the way down to 5 free games with a 2 times multiplier. And you got to match 3 of them.
Correct. And so there's also a wild space in there. The wild space will add 5 spins to whatever you end up winning. So for instance, if you match the 5s, you'll get 10 spins. If you match the 10s, you'll get 15 spins and so on. And then one thing to note here, we'll see this in a second when you get to your final pick, is we'll see if this is a predetermined pick or not. Many people know that generally speaking, if they don't show you the other options, the pick is a predetermined pick.
So I have one question here.
Yeah.
I had 2 out of 3 on, what was that, 4 of them. If I had gotten the wild, which one would it have filled in on? Would it have just been the most expensive of the bunch?
It would be the best of them, right? So if you had the 20, you would get the 20 plus 5 in that case. So your machine that you were playing did show that it was a predetermined outcome because it did not show you the other options. What's interesting about Quick Hit is not all of the machines are that way. Some are true pick and some are predetermined. And I've spoken with a few sort of slot channels because we've noticed that depending on what casino you're at, which particular machine it is, it can differ. So I think Bally must have changed approach part of the way through or updated the game at some point.
My dad and I were talking about when we filmed this is I had thought that it was always not predetermined because I seem to remember it revealing them all afterwards because I know that I've been playing Quick Hit and been like, oh man, there was the wild. I missed it by 1.
Yep.
Or, if I was off by 1, and then on this one, it did not show us. So that was what I was kind of shocked by. I didn't realize that they had both versions of that game.
Yeah, from what I can recall, I think the older versions of it was predetermined, and then they updated it like a couple years later, so the newer ones that were still mechanical reels would have the true pick. So just a slight difference, but mathematically in the long run, it's not going to really make a difference. Some people want to control the pick because they think that it has a major difference, but slot manufacturers clearly build these tables with a distribution that will basically come out to the same thing, whether it's true pick or predetermined. So that's something important just to keep in mind.
And that was a over $16 win, which isn't terrible, especially considering it was the first spin of the play.
Yeah, and the other thing to keep in mind too is when you're in a bonus, you're not wagering, right? So you're building your money up, you're not spending your money down. So that's a great place to start, and you're ahead already for the session just off of that one bonus.
And then here I hit the 3 quick picks, and I'm talking about if you get 3 of them, you get your money back, which is the $1.50. 4, I think, is $750. And then I believe it's 5 or more gets you all those progressives up top.
Yep. So you get your money back on 3, regardless of bet, obviously. On 4, you get 5 times your bet, regardless of bet, because the progressives aren't in play there. Once you get to 5, then you're at the progressives. The 5 quick hit progressive is minimum 10x your bet and grows from there. And the 6 quick hit is minimum 50 times your bet. So they get pretty substantial pretty quickly. And one of the reasons why I like this game for a value bet is because you do have access to those progressives, and they're not particularly hard to get. Like getting a 6 quick hit or 5 quick hit is certainly not unusual during a session. Obviously, it's not the easiest thing in the world. Otherwise, the machines would just be paying way too much out. But they do pop up enough, and I've had some 7s that are really good too. You got 4 just now. Yeah. So that's one thing that's nice about this game. So you have your bonus, obviously. You have this progressive and quick hit feature, which is like an extra payout, and then you have what are still pretty decent line hits because the 7s can really pay a good amount. Like
right here.
Exactly, timing is perfect.
So game pays 19.25. That was what we had showed earlier. When he my dad went up to that top screen, it shows you right there at the top screen. If you're impatient like me, you can look up there and you'll know exactly how much the game pays. You don't have to wait for the meter to build up.
Right, exactly. And so that was a more than 10 times your bet back right there. So there's 3 different ways that the game can pay out, and in this case you've sort of tapped all of them at various points already in this video, and that's why I like it. You tend to just keep getting these hits that keep you in the game, and if you get enough bonuses or you get enough quick hits, you obviously can put you ahead, which is obviously what anybody wants to accomplish on a slot machine if they're lucky.
Yeah, and I will say earlier we hit the 4 quick hits and it looked like it was 150, but it was 750. The top of that 7 was just cut off from the angle we were filming at there. And there we go, another bonus round.
Mr. Lucky, Matt Bourie.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's your second one now. And this bonus can be sometimes a little difficult. Quick hit machines are known for teasing with the first and second bonus symbol, and then it'll drop a quick hit, so you hear a sound, but it's not the bonus symbol. I like the patterns you're working on the board there too, by the way.
Yeah, there's the wild symbol that you get right there. So that's what it filled in. I had the 5. I had 2 out of 3 on the 5 and 2 out of 3 on the 15. So it filled in the 15, and then it jumped from 15 to 20. It gave us those extra 5 spins there.
Now
I was going to say the patterns that I was on. I think I went for the cross there, and then 4 corners, and I don't know. I just like to be kind of silly with those sometimes.
But the bonus win is always $1.50. The first initial win there when you make a bonus round.
You're guaranteed your money back, right? So it's whatever you wagered in this case. If you were wagering 30 cents, it would give you 30 cents back. So, but yeah, so the other thing too that I should mention that we haven't talked about so far is you can retrigger in this bonus. So if you and you retrigger the same number of spins that you got the first time. So in this case, since you had 20 spins with your wild, if you retriggered, you would get 20 more. The game does cap though at 50 spins. So if you retrigger a lot, eventually you just stop getting spins, but you still get paid the trigger bonus. So that $1.50 in this case would continue to get paid times your multiplier 2 or 3 depending on what you got.
Now, I was actually going to ask that because we got 2 out of 3 here. I was going to ask if you could retrigger, because I know on some games you retrigger with only 2 out of 3 of the symbols once you're in it, but I guess this one you need all 3.
Need all 3.
That's got to be unfortunate if you that's got to be unfortunate if you hit 3 of 3 multiple times and you cap out at the 50. And then
I've done it. It's like a little frustrating because you kind of want more spins, but at the same time, every bonus is designed with something. There's some games that'll tell you in the pay table that they're limited. IGT does this a lot on some of their games, for instance. So if you ever wonder if there's a limit to your retriggers, the pay table should usually let you know.
All right, a question on the bonus rounds though. Now, if you don't bet enough, to be eligible for a bonus round, you are not going to achieve the maximum payback percentage on this machine. Is that correct?
Yeah, because the progressives in this case, whoop, there's three.
Another one.
Speaking of,
I forgot about the third one.
So you're losing out on the sort of the difference between the starting point of the progressive and its actual payout. Because so remember how I said the 5 quick hit starts at 10x. If you're betting lower than $1.50, you'll just get 10x. So you won't get that premium above and beyond the starting point. Now it should be noted, you don't get the progressives in the bonus round at all in this version. You just get a multiple of that 10x in this case for the 5 quick hits. So the only time you actually win progressives is when you're in the base game in this version. So when you're in the bonus round, it honestly doesn't make a difference. It's all proportional to your bet.
And now a lot of people. Oh, go ahead. You go ahead.
Let me just follow up on this one. So now, do you have an idea what the difference is between the payback percentage and the base game is, and what the bonus adds to it? So if someone never made enough, bet enough, say they bet $1 rather than $1.50, do you know the maximum payback percentage, and then how much it would be increased by making the maximum payback bet?
So normally progressives are somewhere around 1 to 2% of the overall payback of the machine. So presuming this follows it, and based on the way it increments, I think that's about right for this game. You're losing a couple of percentage points on your payback. Now, these older machines probably pay a little bit better than newer machines on the floor, because older machines weren't designed with as broad a range of paybacks as the newer machines are. So the low end is higher than the low end on a machine released today. So the flip side to that is that it's probably still a relatively good bet relative to like a 2021 slot machine that's on the casino floor and set to the lowest setting, for instance. So, that tends to be a little bit helpful. So I think it's another reason why I like these games, because there's a little bit more money to be had because it's going to over time pay you a bit more.
Okay.
Now, the question I had is, a lot of people will ask is, when you get into, and I honestly don't know the answer to this question. People have asked many times, and I have to just tell them I don't know. So like when we get it, another bonus round. This is actually about the bonus round. So the slot machines are based on the RNG, right? The random number generator. Now, is the random number generator the same random RNG in the base game as it is in the free spins?
It can be, but remember that the free spins reels can also differ, right? So many times, especially on video slots, you'll see like bonus reels in play, for instance, or you'll see free games embedded into them. So they purposely have a different set of reels for the bonus round than the base game. So even if it's using the same RNG, the set of outcomes that it's drawing from may be different. And then, not to throw a wrinkle in it, but there's also the possibility that there's 5 hits on RNG for each reel, right? So not a slot machine sometimes don't just use one RNG and the whole outcome's decided. It could be using an RNG for each reel and determining where each reel stops. So it really depends on the design of the game.
Well, I think that's what they meant, was more the bonus reels question. Like, is it going to be this? I think what the question, I sort of phrased that poorly. Like, so would it be? Oh, there's a good one, $20 win right there. Not bad, especially on a free spin in the bonus round. But I guess like, so say the base game has a payback of, I don't know, say you're playing a penny slot and it's 90%. Let's just call it 90% to make it easy. And then you get the free games feature. Say you get 10 free games like we did just here. Is the payback in the free reels going to be the same 90%? Is it going to be lower? Is it going to be higher?
So the thing to keep in mind about a slot machine is when we talk about a 90% payback, that's the payback of the entirety of the game. That's the payback for the base game, the free games, and the progressives, right? So you're not really getting 90% payback in the base game because part of the money is built into the bonuses. If you play for 100 spins and get no bonus, you're probably going to have a tough run versus your session where you had 4 bonuses and you're having a great run because there's a certain percentage of the money built into that bonus round, right? So, Nevada actually has a regulation that if the reels change in the bonus round, you have to label it. That's why you see bonus reels in play or different colors. That's a way for them to illustrate that something's going on there. And usually they're going to beef up the payouts a little bit or change the structure in a way that's going to make it potentially bigger, because obviously a bonus is supposed to be exciting and different and have potential that's different than just line hits on a base game. And so I would expect that those payouts are more likely to overachieve under the right circumstances, but it could be a distribution that includes some really tough bonuses, like $0 bonuses in the worst case scenarios. Or I guess in the case of Quick Hit, you theoretically could just win your 1x and then get nothing, right? So you get your money back and you're done. So yeah.
I guess so if you got the 5 spins, you just go 0 for 5.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, that's always a possibility. And there's a few games out there that have what's called a bonus guarantee to try to, you know, take the staunch the pain a little bit, but you know, those are sort of the exception to the rule.
I guess that kind of makes sense because I was thinking about it. My favorite slot machine that I play with my girlfriend Holly all the time is Invaders from Planet Moolah. And I know that they have the faces of all the different people is one of the highest payoffs. And I realized that the guy's wearing a hat and it has the number 3 for Dale Earnhardt on it. And then when you get to the bonus round, the number on his hat changes, I noticed. So that's probably and I think
what does it change to, Matt?
I can't remember if it changed to 8 for Dale Jr. or if it just changed from 3 to 2. I can't remember, but I remember I was playing it with Holly and was like, oh, they changed it. That's not Dale Earnhardt anymore.
Well, here's a question on this machine we're talking about. So this was recommended as one of, I think we did a video on 5 good machines for low limit slot players, budget slot players. Now, why did you pick this machine? Is it because it doesn't have a lot of volatility? And maybe you can explain, I would assume that's one of the reasons. Maybe you can explain to people what volatility is in a slot machine.
Yeah, so that's a great example of why I picked it. So a lower volatility machine tends to be one that provides more frequent wins, but the wins may not be as large, right? So if you think about tougher games, you know, sometimes you can get those $100 wins on a dollar bet and so forth. But to get a $100 win on a dollar bet, you have to take money from somewhere else, right? And so that tends to be smaller wins. You tend to win less often, what people call dead spins, where just nothing happens. Whereas with Quick Hit, as you saw, you know, the bonuses can come out regularly. You have the quick hits that can pay regularly, and then you have the line hits that can pay regularly. And all of these things sort of make for a pretty active game. You know, and similar, another video you featured recently, you featured Quick Spin is similar. You have the wheel spins, you have the bonus, and then you have the line hits, and all of those things contribute on a regular basis to the overall activity of the game. And so for someone who's looking for a fun game that's got a lot of action, that's part of the reason why I like it, but it's also lower volatility. Can you lose $100 in 8 minutes? Yes, you can. But you know, the flip side to that is that, you know, generally speaking, it's not a hard ride most of the time.
All right, Matt, did we show the end of the video there, how much you won?
We did. It ended there sort of while we were talking.
Well, I seem to remember it being $80. So
yes,
so
I'm looking right now.
Nice,
yeah, we
win.
cashed out for $179.20. We bought in for $100 and we cashed out for $179.20. So that's what we did. $80 win is an $80 win, you know, especially in that video was like just under 12 minutes. So making $80 in 12 minutes.
Let's talk about that for a second. So you made more. So if $1.50 is, you know, your quote unquote betting unit, like if you were blackjack and playing $5 chips, that's your betting unit. So $1.50 per spin, that's more than 50 times your wager. You had 4 bonuses that slowed down your wagering, right? And were allowing you to make money. So, you know, that's a great example of what a game like this can accomplish. It keeps you going. It gives you, you know, a lot of smaller wins. None of your bonuses were particularly large, right? I think you had a bunch of like $15, $20 bonuses for the most part.
I think one was like 45. The last one I think was 45 or 50.
Was it?
We were I think so. I don't know. We were so busy talking I forgot to look.
Just rewind if you want to verify what we're saying here, but no, you didn't have like $100 bonus. I've certainly had those on this game, but they're not particularly often, and that's the point, right? So you had 4, you know, decent sized bonuses, all pretty much over 10x, but that gives you just more runway to work with. You had a couple of line hits that were over 10x, and that was all in the span of 11 or 12 minutes. You know, that's a pretty good run on a game like that at $1.50 a spin.
Now, keep in mind, that's not always going to happen. Don't go playing this machine thinking that you're going to win $80 in 12 minutes also. This was a relatively lucky run we had on this. So keep that in mind.
All right. So that was one of the 5 slot machines that we had suggested for low limit players that offer a lot of value to you. And that's the Quick Hit. But this is the older version, one of the original ones that was out there on the floor. Josh, if people want to get more information about you and your website, where would they do that?
You can visit my site at knowyourslots.com, where I post new content every single day. And I'm also on social media, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Know Your Slots, all one word.
Great.
Josh, thank you very much for taking time to speak with us again.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
All right. Thanks for watching, everyone, and best wishes for good luck in the casinos.